on Twitter and on Instagram at Judge_Janine. You never have to miss justice. If you can't watch, just set your DVR. Do it. Thanks so much for watching. Greg Gutfeld is next. See you next Saturday night.
Flake Min? What was it? Mike something? Mike Finn? No.
Clearly, it's not getting any better. Yes. It's a helpless scream from the losing team. I speak of an upcoming nationwide screech fest to mark the anniversary of the 2016 election, when Donald Trump shellacked Hillary like an arts and crafts clay ashtray. Remember those? At this event, thousands of losers plan to scream helplessly at the sky. It's a yelp from those who need help, shrieks from the geeks, a wailing from the failing. People magazine, which named me world's sexiest man in 1998 and 1999, writes that liberal organizers in at least 9 cities plan to scream helplessly to the heavens as a way to extend their already year-long tantrum. They actually titled the event "Scream Helplessly at the Sky" on the anniversary of the Trump election. So as not to get confused with other demonstrations like pout in a corner in a onesie on the anniversary of Trump's election, or slam your bedroom door and cry into your slightly damp body pillow on the anniversary of Trump's election, I think we have a preview of the event. Never gets old. Ooh. I'm going to say this again because I can't believe my ears. People want to gather together on a Wednesday in November, the 8th of November, not just to scream, but to scream helplessly at the sky because they still can't accept a Trump presidency 1 year after he was elected. What kind of crowd will this attract? I imagine none of you will know these people. And it probably will have nobody you'd ever date. But I wonder, will Jeff Flake be there?
We must never adjust to the present coarseness of our national dialogue with the tone set at the top. We must never regard as normal the regular and casual undermining of our democratic norms and ideals.
I know. So Flake announced he won't seek re-election. He's blaming Trump for making politics uglier than an old man's butt. But this week he flaked, yelling not at the sky, but preaching to the media, blaming Trump for himself choosing not to run when he really knew he was going to lose the election anyway. I think Flake's a good guy, but in this case, he's not much different than the primal screamer crowd. Trump is rough and often rude, but dude, it's been a year. You gotta move on. Maybe you are. You don't have to like the guy, Trump. It's a personality thing. But divorce personality from deeds, and you'll see that ISIS is decimated, regulations rolled back, China pitching in on North Korea, stock market sky high, job claims are bottoming out. And there's that Supreme Court thing. Can't forget that. It's better to have a successful jerk than a charming failure. And sorry, sky shouters, no amount of yelling is going to change that. And by the way, what did the sky do to deserve this? Here now for reaction, we go to the sky.
Hey, it's not my fault Hillary Clinton was a lousy candidate. And people, quit shooting fireworks at me.
I'm sorry, Sky, but you know the sky's right. Why scream about Trump? Shouldn't you scream at your own candidate who lost to Donald Trump? Here's the electoral map of the states Trump won. The red ones. Hillary was supposed to win a few of those. And here's Trump winning by congressional districts. Look at all that red. So before you go out to scream, maybe try to remember the facts. And maybe instead of scream, why not have a chat with someone who lives in a red area? I bet they'll talk to you. We even have a product that can help.
Do you feel desperate and powerless? Do national politics give you the urge to scream helplessly into the sky? Then you need invented Civil Horn 2000. Civil Horn 2000 uses patented technology to turn your petulant whining into productive political discourse. It's great for disagreements.
You are crazy if you actually believe that.
That's a great point. Maybe I should do some more research before I get emotional.
It's great for protests.
I'm still with her! I didn't vote for Trump, but I sure do respect the office of the president. Now I'm going to move on with my life.
And the Civil Horn 2000 can even shame you into doing something better with your time.
Boo! Boo! I could be home teaching my son how to play catch.
So order your Civil Horn 2000 today.
Let us welcome tonight's guest. He's Opie on the outside, Charles Manson on the in. Author of the book Mean Dads for a Better America, Fox News Radio's Tom Shalhoub. He once played Hercules on TV, but now all he lifts are people's spirits. See him in the great new film produced by Sean Hannity, Let There Be Light. Doesn't he look great? She'll hate Radiohead even on her deathbed. National Review reporter Catherine Timpf. And a Saturn ring is his hula hoop. Former bodyguard, my massive sidekick, Tyrus. All right, let's start with you, Tom. Did you expect the pouting to last this long?
No, it's really amazing, and I do think it's irresponsible, because when they scream, that's going to produce a lot of CO2, and that is bad for the environment. No screaming, people.
That's true.
But I also think that, you know what they should do?
What?
Is, I think it's going to be like that. Do you know the Dr. Seuss book where everyone was going to scream on the same day?
Right.
And then they thought, well, I can't hear the screaming if I'm screaming, so they all were quiet so they could hear. What? No, it wasn't Horton. It was a different. This was an epic Dr. Seuss. But so they all stayed quiet. They opened their mouth and they listened, and then it was silent for once in the world. Maybe that'll happen.
I don't think so, Tom. But I do admire the fact that you bring some kind of literary allusion to
Dr. Seuss, yes.
See, we're a highbrow show, Kevin. That's why we have you on here.
That's why I showed up.
Nice of you to dress up, by the way.
I don't.
Hey, this is
well, you know, normally I've been dressed up all week, and I said, not for Greg's show.
Exactly, yeah. You know, this is essentially group therapy, isn't it? But it's kind of, I mean, what if these were your parents out there? Wouldn't you feel kind of ashamed?
You know, it's weird. We could have screamed a lot over the last 8 years, yet nobody did they?
Yeah.
And it's just, and it's like taking a knee on the sideline for 2 straight years now. Okay, you've made your point.
Right.
It's time to move on and do something about it instead of just worrying about that. But it's just weird. What are you going to do? It's just stupid to me. I can't believe this stuff is even going on, and here we are.
I think, you know, Kat, I think it might be kind of fun. You could go there and meet somebody interesting, somebody who's not like you, right?
I think it's going to be the most fun for President Trump.
Yes.
I think nothing will make him happier than a bunch of Hillary Clinton voters just screaming in agony at the sky like a bunch of rabid hyenas in labor because he's the president. They're trying to stick it to him, and he's going to be like, well, my birthday's not till June. Thank you very much. This is the kind of stuff that he loves.
You know, Tyrus, I have a theory.
Oh, boy.
That these people are the kind that allow...
What do you mean, these people?
Sad, desperate people.
Okay.
They could be any minority, any majority.
What? No, we don't gather.
Okay.
We don't do that.
Tyrus?
Scream at the sky.
These are people who allowed politics, because politics is personal among the left, to take up too much of their lives. It's as if Trump has moved into their brains and built a 50-story condo with a gym, concierge, and rooftop pool.
Well, first of all, no one that's going to this Screamathon actually voted. I'm willing to bet that's number one. Number two, they're not going to scream unless someone brings a camera crew there.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
You know what I'm saying? They're literally, there's only 6 people. Bring the cameras in closer. Like this is all we've fallen to the victim. It's cool to be the victim. It's cool to seek attention. You know, we keep showing that lady who dropped the thing screaming, but she wouldn't do it till the camera got on her.
Oh, that's true. Remember that? She was looking around, and then the camera came on.
on the corner of my table in my house, I give 2 damns who's filming. I'm going to yell because I'm upset.
Right.
And probably for 8 to 6 seconds, you should stay away from me. Chances are I'm going to throw something.
I'd hate to see the table.
George, smash, boom. The point is, it's attention seeking. It sounds good, but it doesn't accomplish anything. For every scream, 10 cents goes to the Democratic Party or something like that.
That would
make sense.
You just solved. They should have said every time you scream, a dime goes to something. Save the children who are colorblind. The colorblind children fund.
I'm sure they will. They'll find some way to raise money off of this.
Nobody cares about colorblind children.
Nobody cares about anybody but themselves. That's what this is about. It's not about the country.
I'll be there.
A golf tournament for colorblind children.
Why not
You know what? This encapsulates the nature of the problem. They're guided by emotion, and they can't. If they just listen to the facts. For example, here's
they don't like facts.
They don't like facts. But here's a fact: you could dislike Trump. But the net positive is you're seeing more about how the government works than you ever have in your life because you've learned about the Electoral College, you've learned about opposition research, you've learned about how to pass and repeal laws, and it is the best political science class I've been through. I think
that's
executive orders.
Yes,
I'm learning about all of these things.
And look, everything that they accuse Trump of doing, they do. And that's what, Jeff Flake and Bob Corker, they're calling Trump names. They're using, what was the hashtag? The daddy daycare or something like that, right? They're doing the same thing. And President Trump, they criticize him he talks about the election endlessly. He keeps showing that map about all the red states. But the thing is, they're doing it too. They won't stop talking about the election. So they always do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I just think the bottom line is we have to stop letting politics be a part of our lives like this, unless you're watching my show. But you know what I mean? I think it's this is an example of what happens when you take politics too seriously.
We didn't scream when Romney lost, Greg. You and I just drank more.
Yeah, it's true. We did. But that's true. If Hillary had won, there wouldn't be Trump voters doing this. They'd just go back to their jobs.
Working.
All right. Clap away. Yeah. Coming up, remember when the media loved the Russian story? They don't love it as much anymore. Why is that? I don't know. It's next. It was Trump they meant to frame, when really Hillary was to blame. It's a rhyme there. A collusion illusion. After flat-out lies that they had nothing to do with it, we now found out the Clinton campaign and the DNC paid for opposition research on Trump that led to the lurid Russia dossier. It's a big story. At least it used to be when it was about Donald Trump. Now it's all Hillary, so there's nothing there, right? Not so. First, you got Mark Elias. There he is, the lawyer for the Clinton campaign and the DNC. He hires a Washington intel firm called Fusion GPS, sounds like a lovely restaurant, to do Oppo research on Trump once he clinched the nomination. Fusion GPS, in turn, hires a former British intel officer to get dirt on Trump. That officer's name is Christopher Steele, which happened to be my stage name when I made those amateur films in the 90s. Trying to make this interesting. So Steele, who was hired by Fusion, who was hired by Clinton campaign and the DNC, they compiled this dossier with all those allegations about Trump's Russian connections. Now, campaigns get opposition research on each other all the time, nothing new. But why would they deny it? Interesting. Ken Vogel from the New York Times tweeted this week that when he was working on the story, Mark Elias told him his sources were wrong. Maggie Haberman, also from the Times, said they lied with sanctimony all year. So the question remains, will the media cover this story the way they sunk their teeth into the Trump collusion story, or will they call it old news and return to bashing the president? We went to one media critic for comment. Kevin, do you think the media has covered this part of the Russian story?
No, they haven't. Look, everything the Democrats blame the Republicans for is exactly what the Democrats are doing.
Yes, yes.
Hillary Clinton should call an investigation on herself. I mean, she sold, what, 20% of our uranium to the Russians?
Yes, yeah.
But she gave them a start-over button, didn't she?
Yeah, exactly.
So we're pals with Putin now.
Selling uranium to the Russians is like selling pots and pans to Hannibal Lecter. It's like, yeah, they're just pots and pans. Yes, but he's going to cook people in it. All right, Tyrus. I can tell by your disinterested look that you're going to say, I'm sick of this story. Why can't we talk about
Versace? Let's talk about Versace. Listen, okay, let's say both stories are true.
Right.
Okay, all the Russian stuff's true.
Right.
Where do we go from there?
Then they cancel each other out and we move on. .org.
Are we good with that?
Yes, I'm good.
With that?
That's what I would say. Like, oh yeah, that's
fine. Fine. Both of you vacation in Russia and let Clinton and Trump feud on their own. Let them have a golf game to settle it all.
Well, a golf charity
between each other.
For colorblind children.
It has nothing to do with our country. It has nothing to do with America. Like, I'm worried about our stuff. I could care less. At this point, fine. Both of you dance with Russians.
Backing into a great thought.
Yeah.
It's about.
Oh, whenever I have a great thought, it's unintentional. Whenever he does, it's genius. You guys notice that?
Finally. Okay, what I'm getting at, and I'll shift away from Tyrus over.
Of course he will.
Tom.
Yes.
What he's getting at is that it's really not about the left or the right, Republicans or Democrats. It's the eternal truth that the Russians will always try to screw things up. They are about undermining traditions. You can't even blame our institutions. You can't even blame the Russians for it because we should know better.
Yep. You are such a communist apologist, Greg.
Yeah, am I?
The Russians don't like us, Greg. They're still angry, and it's not communism, and it's not capitalism.
The Olympics?
They're still mad about that hockey game.
Yes.
They don't like to lose hockey.
That's so true.
For a bunch of 19-years-olds.
Yeah.
1980.
I know, but when you see their face on that bench, they're so mad. They're like, we're going to interfere with the election in 2017.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That was quite a hockey match, Kat. You weren't even born then.
No.
No. Yes.
This is a movie, Kat. You might have saw it, maybe.
Yeah, they made it into a TV movie.
Is this my question?
Kurt Russell, the coach?
Kurt Russell was the coach.
Yeah.
That's my home state of Minnesota. I know these things, buddy. Come on.
Kat, what do you think that this is totally dilutes the whole anti-Russian Trump effort, the collusion effort, because now it's on their side?
I just can't help but notice how all that's happened is that each side has just traded talking points with the other side.
Yes.
Essentially.
It's like shirts and skins.
When the Donald Trump Jr. story came out, everyone on the left was saying, this is such a big deal, this is such a big deal, and the right was saying, so what? And now everyone on the right saying, this is such a big deal, this is such a big deal, and everyone on the left is saying, so what? They just traded. They didn't even have to come up with new thoughts. Just did a little switcheroo.
No, that's absolutely right. And that's why Tyrus is correct about the idea that these kind of things cancel out. It's the same thing with like people that are say, oh, Trump is a cult of personality. Obama was a cult of personality. There's a lot of mirrors going on here, mirror issues, I think. Tom, you disagree?
No, it's true. I was reading the Los Angeles Times wrote an editorial. They said, who cares who paid for it? Okay, so Hillary paid for it. Who cares? It matters what's in the dossier. And I was like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter who pays for things, right? Like, Greg, if you do a lousy show, does anyone blame News Corp? No, they blame you.
Yes, they
Every Saturday, they blame you, Greg.
I'm going to blame you.
Yeah. Shillelagh did it.
Yes. Okay, so can we just put him on radio?
Yeah.
Get him off the TV, put him on radio. I'm kidding. You're doing great on the radio show, by the way.
I was.
He has a great face for radio.
Hold on a second. Just people stop emailing me saying I look like Adam Schiff.
Look at him.
I don't look like Adam Schiff.
Wow. Yeah, no, you do.
Separated
and you look like the cowboy from Toy Story.
That I'll take. All
right. If they do a live action, a Toy Story, you're in it. And I'm not kidding. All right. Coming up. CNN lectures viewers on fruit. More proof they've gone to seed. Plan word.
Live from America's News headquarters, I'm Lauren Green. Deadly explosions rock Somalia. Dozens of people were killed and wounded after 2 car bombs exploded outside a hotel near the presidential palace. A firefight between the attackers and security forces continues. A government minister is among the dozens rescued after being trapped in the hotel. This comes just 2 weeks after hundreds were killed in a truck bombing. And that was the worst attack in the East African country's history. Al-Shabaab is claiming responsibility for this latest attack. Back here at home, former President Barack Obama has been summoned to jury duty in Illinois. He's expected to report to duty next month. If selected, he'll earn about $17 a day. Mr. Obama is not the first former president called for service. Both Bill Clinton and George Bush appeared for jury selection after leaving the White House. Neither was chosen. I'm Lauren Green. Now back to the Greg Gutfeld Show.
CNN has gone bananas. Literally. I speak of CNN's latest not-so-subtle ad, which, although it never mentions his name, takes a clear shot at President Trump. Defending itself against his accusations of fake news, it features an apple and a voiceover urging you to embrace facts. Roll it, Doris.
This is an apple. Some people might try to tell you that it's a banana. They might scream banana, banana, banana over and over and over again. They might put banana in all caps. You might even start to believe that this is a banana. But it's not. This is an apple.
They paid a lot of money to somebody to make that. Shame on CNN for attacking 2 defenseless fruits. Clearly that was offensive to apples and bananas, so we've gone ahead and fixed the ad for them.
This is a banana. But what if it wasn't? What if it wanted to identify as an apple? Or an orange? Would you still call it a banana? Maybe you'd call it banapple. Or banorange. Or maybe banaporange. Are you confused yet? Does this ad not make any sense? Good. That was the point.
So, Kat, you know, it's one of those. It's an ad that is obviously about Trump. It's like that "You're So Vain" by Carly Simon. Mm-hmm. She never said who it was about, but we all knew it was about Spiro Agnew. And so it seems kind of like a sad way to respond, like a very defensive way.
Yeah, I noticed that Trump doesn't really seem to mind, doesn't really seem to care. He's like, no, it's too long. I don't want to watch it. I have some tweeting to do. You know what, though? I do like facts.
I do, too.
Facts are really great. They're better than things that are not facts.
Yes, that's
even
true.
when it's hard. So
yes.
I'm just pro-facts. And I wonder, what's that apple doing now? It's so famous, and it has no idea.
You know what? After the apple, they toss it out, and it's doing apple porn.
It's
that's
so
what
sad.
happens after you do this commercial. It's like you don't get another call in, then you're down at the San Fernando Valley with a kumquat and a zucchini, and it's disgusting, Tyrus. It's disgusting.
I don't want to talk about this.
You got to talk about something.
And you know what? You're right. Who the hell are they to tell Apple who he can and cannot be?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be anything you want. Maybe the apple thought he was a coconut.
Yes.
You gonna just put him in front of everybody, tell him what he is?
Yeah.
If I was Apple, like, hell no, you ain't gonna tell me I know Apple.
Yes.
How do they decide?
And it was
which
red. Yeah.
apple
And
to
what
use?
color apple? Why the red apple get all the light?
Yes.
Why can't a green apple get on TV? Why is it always gotta be a red apple? Every time I go outside, it's always a red apple.
Yeah.
Did they line up a series of apples and there was like a little audition?
Yeah. Well, I won't even get to why they chose a banana. The shape. The shape.
I'm saying that's one of those things that are like, haha, we got him.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
but no one. Like,
It's so.
What message is it sending to children? You can't be an orange.
Right.
Yes. It's the perfect ad because it shows you what CNN thinks of itself.
Right, exactly.
It thinks that it just shows pictures of apples and that it's 100% facts. But they don't show you a picture of an apple. Turn on CNN. They show an apple and then they tell a story about the apple. Then they show apple recipes and then they say the apple is in league with the Russians. They make up stories. That's what this is. They don't show an apple.
They could have actually done a really good ad in which they made a fawning ad where they were saying all these wonderful compliments about Trump, and then at the end, CNN, that's not us. Like they should have done something.
Oh, that's brilliant.
They should have just been in your face and said, and they could have mocked certain people.
But then you're not the victim, Greg, because that commercial's like, we're the victim, we're the facts, and they're picking on us, and the banana's bigger, and he's pushing us around, and we just tell the truth, even when we have 15 hours of opinion shows.
I do feel bad for the apple. That was my initial response.
Really? Did you feel bad for the apple? I felt, people are starving, and they're using fruit to make a point. I mean, somebody's at home going, Mommy, there's banana fruit. Shut up! that was my after-school special. It's called The Child Who Couldn't Have Fruit. Starring Lance Kerwin.
Parent that raised him.
Lance Kerwin. Thank you. At least Kevin Sorbo's nodding who Lance Kerwin is.
James at 15.
James at 15. I love it when we go down a road that no one else can follow. And then I just do this.
They're on Google right now.
Yes.
Trust me.
Whatever happened to Lance Kerwin? Not good things.
Oh, no, he looks great.
Okay. Compared to you, I guess.
He's doing great, yeah.
Toy Story.
Coming up. Any character.
The Super Bowl halftime show is already causing problems. Way to go, NFL. It's the halftime show that's gonna blow. This week, the NFL announced Justin Timberlake will perform at the Super Bowl. I believe he used to be in Boyz II Men. But apparently, people are still ticked about his role in something called Nipplegate. Remember that? 2004 Super Bowl halftime with Janet Jackson. She was in the Go-Go's. He ripped off part of her costume, exposing her breast. I said it! They called it a wardrobe malfunction. It caused trouble for the NFL, CBS, and Jackson. Now, Timberlake's invite isn't sitting well with Jackson's fans, who complain that allowing him back, but not her, reeks of white privilege and so on. Anyway, there's an easy solution to all of this. Have this more talented fella perform instead. Tyrus, is there someone you'd rather see perform?
Listen, I've been to a few Super Bowls, and to go to the thing to Jackson fans, and I'm a Jackson fan, but Justin Timberlake's still super relevant.
Yeah.
He's Justin Timberlake. He's a megastar still.
Yes.
Janet, we asked her to come back and sing her classics because it's over.
Right.
So we probably wouldn't want you to come back and sing your new stuff. We want to hear the old stuff. But honestly, every live event I've been to, and like I said, I used bodyguard for Snoop, so I've been to a lot of rap concerts, a lot of hip-hop stuff. Rock and roll every time. You have the Rolling Stones do it, have Bruce Springsteen do it. It just sounds better live. It sounds better when you're in the arena. And so for me, Justin's great. If he has a live band, it'll be even better. So I prefer the AC/DCs of the world and like I said, the Rolling Stones of the world or Kid Rock. Just because it's football, it's outdoors, it just sounds better. If you've been to a concert, live music always sounds better than DJ play the iPad.
I think a great idea, Shalou,
this is not going to be a great idea. Watch.
Is close-up magic at halftime. But with no cameras, so just no cameras there, but close-up magic, so somebody, will bring somebody and he'll do some close-up magic. And I think everybody in the stadium will enjoy it.
Super entertaining. Everybody loves close-up magic.
It is true. David Blaine does a wonderful job, I hear.
Great guy.
Yes, excellent guy. Yeah. What do you think? I think they're going in the wrong direction. Too much star power creates a spectacle, which has led the NFL into this marginalizing the game. I think now it's become too big, and it should go back to the basics.
Yes, I do. I agree with Tyrus, the rock bands. I'd say Cheap Trick. Those guys,
love Cheap Trick.
They're still playing, and they're still great. How about Cheap Trick at the Super Bowl?
I love Cheap Trick.
Yes. But Timberlake, he's right. He's a big star. He was a big star. I mean, she was lucky to be performing with Justin Timberlake back then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, so we're hitting the Jackson lady pretty hard.
Nothing against her at all. She's a classic. She's greatness, but time's moved on a little bit.
Yeah. You know what? What do you think, Kevin? Do you have any suggestions?
I think if you actually ask the football players that are playing in the game, they don't want him there.
Ah, good
They don't
point.
like the fact that it takes. They want to play the game. They want
Right.
to get into the game. You're right. We've made it a huge spectacle and get on with it. But I'm with you. I mean, to me, 70s rock and roll bands. I mean, Journey, Foreigner, Supertramp, Styx. I think all those groups. To me, because the audience. There's
All white
water,
people
water
I see,
rain.
Kevin. All white people.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Bring the
too late now.
Commodores
You
back.
always do this.
now.
He thinks he's so slick slipping this in. You always do this.
Did you see that some people were honestly, earnestly suggesting Adele? Like,
Oh, yeah.
no, everyone's gonna be, everyone's gonna be drunk and full of chili. Let's force them to contemplate all their unrequited loves throughout their life. They're gonna be at parties. They're not gonna be crying
I've been to
into a
Luther
bubble
Vandross
bath,
concert
Greg.
before. Luther Vandross is awesome, but pretty soon you just start.
I'm just keeping it real. Unless you're at the game, you don't even watch the damn halftime show.
No,
That's
it's
when
true.
you
You're right.
re-up. That's when you get your food.
Well,
You flip to other channels, because the missus got to check out on Housewives of Dallas or whatever's going on. So the halftime show usually you just catch the end of it. Like, oh, okay, let's go, let's get the game going. So it doesn't really matter.
The players don't like the long commercial TV timeouts. Trust
Yeah.
me.
It's actually 10 minutes longer than usual.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of guys get cold warming up and stuff because it's an extra 10 minutes.
Why I
It
got
takes
out
away
of
from the game.
sports. Kat,
That's why?
I would like to see, as you know, I would like to see Radiohead perform and do my favorite song, Yellow, which I think is their best. And by the way, on cable, they had There Will Be Blood on. The soundtrack is done by Coldplay. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I love how you're appropriating my controversy.
I am.
For yourself.
I'm driving it into the ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, question. You haven't answered.
I didn't get the question.
Suggestion.
Suggestion? Blink 182.
A poor man's Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is a poor man's Smash Mouth.
Oh my, you're really going in.
Has Taylor done it yet? I love Taylor Swift.
Oh, James Taylor Swift. Have you seen James Taylor Swift?
George Clinton.
Transitioning. George Clinton.
That would be
nice.
a funky party.
Yeah, excellent. All right, I see that this
Have
is.
you guys ever even watched a Super Bowl?
Yes.
I'm starting to feel like you haven't.
Yes. I just bought a toilet. It's a Super Bowl. Anyway, I did. I got a new toilet installed yesterday. I did.
He did.
Is it heated?
I did. I've been talking about it all week. I had to.
Is it heated? Will it keep you warm?
Yeah, no, I don't have a heat. I'm not like you, Sorbo. I don't need my ass warmed. All right. I grew up on the streets where we had cold toilets. All right, the final thought before we go to break, we want to welcome a new sponsor. Here you go.
Have you got an annoying scalp itch that you just can't get rid of?
And it sounds terrible too.
That's because you've been infected with Radiohead lice.
It's driving me crazy. What do I do?
Luckily, there's a solution with York Be Gone. York Be Gone's medically tested ingredients help silence Radiohead lice on contact, leaving you itch and misery-free.
Wow, that worked fast. Now I can get back to listening to truly innovative bands like Coldplay. Thanks, York Be Gone.
So order York Be Gone today. Side effects may include nothing because it's not real.
Nice. All right. Up next, if movies suck so bad, why should you pay full price? We discuss this next. Is this the fix for terrible flicks? Starting next year, Regal Entertainment Group will test demand-based pricing for seeing movies in its theaters, meaning you could end up paying more for hits and less for flops. The goal is to see if it boosts revenue and fills more seats at non-peak times. It's the entertainment version of selling day-old bread. Sure, it's stale and it stinks, but the ducks love it. Weird metaphor, but anyway, will it work? We went to the cat who loves horror films for comment. Anyway, so Kevin, you've got a new movie coming out, and it's going to be so good, they're going to have to charge like $100 a ticket.
They should charge that much for it. This is true.
Yes. What do you make of this new thing?
Blockbusters, it's down, what, 14% overall this year, or more than that? It's down quite a bit, double digits. And I think that's a reflection on the product that they're actually putting out. They need to put out movies like mine, which just opened today, called Let There Be Light.
There you go.
So you need to go to there you go. You need to go to lettherebelightmovie.com to find out about it. But I think that is a reflection on the movies that are coming out. People are getting tired of there's a lot of anti-American things coming out in the movies. There's a lot of, they have the agenda to push. People want movies that are uplifting.
You know, so your movie is about a celebrity atheist who gets into a car accident and then spiritual awakening. So I came up with a sequel where it's about a priest.
Don't do the joke. Don't do the joke.
Do it.
The joke.
Do it.
You know what?
You have to do it. Come on, man.
I can't do the joke.
Yours will be R-rated.
Howard.
I would end up being sent home. By the way, Tom, I don't think this is a good idea because, okay, why would you go see a bad movie just because it's cheaper? That's like saying, let's go to this restaurant, the food will make you sick, but it's cheap.
Yes. They can't do it that way because it's like marketing against the movie, so if you see a cheap movie, you're not going to go see it. Even though I love flops. And most of the movies that flopped, I loved, like Dirty Work. And,
that's a good movie.
Great movie. Bonfire of the Vanities, loved it. But they should do the opposite of this, and you should charge your credit card when you go in the movie. And if not many people see it, they divvy up the cost of the film between the people who saw it. So it costs more money to go to a bomb.
Oh.
That way it's like gambling. You get it?
Ooh, that's an interesting idea, Tom.
And the more people go to a movie, the cheaper it gets.
Oh, wow.
So you essentially, everybody splits the cost of the blockbuster.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Single payer movie? Not on my watch. No. Leave the movies alone, Greg. Leave it
have you seen it?
And who's going to say what's a flop, and then you're going to tell me what's good and what's not good? You're going to have some guy decide that? Or then we'll have the movie industries paying someone to say that it wasn't a flop, and then you have to deal with all that? Just listen, I go to a movie and I'll come out and decide whether I like it or I'll see it again or I won't, and that's it. I'll pay my $8.
Have you seen Brawl in Cell Block 99? With Vince
Why
Vaughn?
would I see Brawl in Cell Block 9? I want y'all to hear this. Why, Greg?
Because it is the best movie of the year. I haven't seen yours yet, Kevin. But same guy who did Bone Tomahawk. It is the most brutal film. And Vince Vaughn shaves his head, tattoo of a cross on the back. He's one of us, by the way.
Vince is a good guy. I like
Vince, and it is his best role.
One of us?
One of us.
What does that mean?
We're vegetarians. Kat, you go to the movies all the time when you're supposed to be at work.
I only go to the movies because the one thing I like is the overwhelming sense of joy and relief when it's finally over.
I agree.
They're long. You have to sit there. You can't talk. You have to wear pants. There's kids everywhere. No offense, kids sitting in the audience. You guys are probably fine. You can't drink. You can't turn it into a drinking game, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know that, but I don't know how else they have expected. You interrupt me almost constantly when I'm talking.
By the way, I don't like that you remark that the kids in the audience are fine.
Yeah.
That's just disgusting. But I agree with you. I actually went to one of those luxury theaters a couple of weeks ago to see that Blade Runner sequel.
I saw
where they sit there and they have waiters and waitresses and they bring you food.
And you can drink, Kat.
You can drink. I hated it because it made me feel like I was on an airplane on the tarmac and I wanted to go home. Because I'm going like, why am I sitting here? Why am I sitting here?
You can't BYOB.
Yeah.
Out of
Bring
a
your own
large
what?
2-liter.
It's true. I agree. They're too long. Movies are too long, Greg.
Movies are too long.
An
the
hour.
Blade Runner thing was 2:45, 2 hours and 45 minutes. And it was like, I loved the first movie.
Mine's only an hour 40.
Exactly.
That's it. See, that's the way to do it.
There you go.
Boom.
Right there.
Yes. But do you have an afterlife party?
I'll give you that one.
These just come to me because they're so awful. Don't go anywhere. Final thoughts are next. I will see you Monday on the 5 at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're running out of time, so...
What you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it. Right now.
Tom?
You know those little rubber welcome mats that they put in men's urinals?
Yes.
They don't need them anymore because nobody smokes. They used to, you know, they block the cigarette from going in the drain. You don't need them anymore. Don't put them in the toilets.
Thanks for using your time to bring something up like that. Apparently spends a lot of time looking at urinals. Kevin!
As for me, go to my movie, Let There Be Light. There you go. I directed it. There you go.
Kevin, that could be. Kevin directed it. Sean Hannity produced it.
And he financed it. Yes, he did.
Yes.
He's a great executive producer.
He's like loaded.
Left us alone.
He's so rich. He's so rich he can just produce a film while he's on his private jet. All right. Tyrus?
I was daydreaming like what it'd be like to be attacked by a lazy person. Do you call that in?
No.
Hi, he hasn't really, I don't know, I just thought it'd be weird, an aggressive lazy person.
That's interesting.
Be weird.
I never thought about that. You think about some interesting things,
Right? Wouldn't it be weird? Like, I'm going to get up but you haven't yet, so I don't, it's too lazy to attack.
People were lazy.
Know.
Lazy is underrated. Kat, last thought.
So my birthday is on Sunday, but last year I left my flip-flops at a wedding, which means I left my high heels on all night.
Wow.
So that's when I really felt like I was growing up.
Oh, isn't that nice? All right. She's hitting the big 4-0. Good for her. Thanks to Tom Shalhoub, Kevin Sorbo, see his movie, Catherine 10.